Hi travelers, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I wanted to share with you some of my tips in order to have a safe and worry-free vacation. Now, recently with all of that's going on in the news and everywhere about the coronavirus, these tips are especially important, but they are also important if you are going on any vacation. So first thing I do recommend is make sure when you are traveling out of country is to make sure you have 2 weeks of prescription medications. If for some reason there is an emergency when you are abroad and away from home, you want to have at least 2 weeks of your medication. A lot of countries may not have certain medications that you need, or there may be a bit of delay if you do need extra medication in order to get those to you if it's some type of an emergency and you're in a hospital or somewhere there. So it's always a good idea. Pack 2 weeks extra is a good rule of thumb. Now, another thing you want to do when you're traveling is make sure in your passport is you fill out the page where there is an emergency contact information. And ideally, you want to have this filled out with someone that is typically responsible back at home, but also not normally traveling with you. So if you travel with your spouse or partner, you ideally don't want to have them as your emergency contact. Now, you can put them in as your emergency contact in your passport, but if you're traveling with them, what I do recommend is to have a piece of paper put inside your passport with some alternate contact information for someone in case of an emergency. Now, if you're going on somewhere like a cruise, for example, when you are checking in for the cruise, it was going to ask you online to fill out a travel contact information for emergencies there as well. So you will want to obviously have someone on that reservation that is not on the same reservation with you for the cruise as your emergency contact. Now, also a lot of people, when they are going on vacation, they don't necessarily want to take their mobile phone with them, but it's recommended that you do take a cell phone with you while you are traveling. But make sure before you do leave, make sure your plan is set up in order to work while you're roaming in international. Some plans will not work, so it's best to contact your cell phone provider beforehand. Let them know that you are going to be traveling. There is a lot of packages available where it's a pay per day. So even if you have your phone off and you're not using it, you won't be charged. It's better to do that ahead of time just to make sure you're going to have service when you go away, and make sure it's on a plan that you're not going to be charged. Because I know from experience, I traveled before and I assumed that I had a package for having traveled internationally. I had assumed I had a package for the United States. I got down to the States, turned on my phone, and all of a sudden everything started updating, and got a text message saying it was going to cost me $50. So it's something to be aware of beforehand. Make sure that you have a package that's either going to work where you are traveling to. It did all get fixed at the end and it got reversed, but it's better to do it. I learned the hard way. Better to do it ahead of time, just in case of emergency, and you have your phone. You don't have to have your phone on all the time, but you can have your phone just in case you do need it and someone needs to get in touch with you, or you need to call out in an emergency as well. Now, another very important thing to get for your vacation, you're spending a lot of money, you want to have some type of vacation protection. So I do encourage you, talk to your insurance provider, talk to the person travel agent that you're booking your trip with to give you a quote for your trip insurance, also, and medical insurance. As Canadians, we have medical coverage in Canada, but obviously you need to have coverage when you're leaving the country, going internationally, the United States especially. So check with your travel agent or your insurance provider to make sure your coverage is valid for when you are out of the country, medical and cancellation insurance. And now my last tip is healthy travel practices. This is very important right now with all the coronavirus news going on, the news we've heard with different cruise ships being in quarantine. But they're good practices to practice all the time, even at home. If you are out and about, make sure you're washing your hands. When you do wash your hands, obviously before going into a restaurant, pop into the washroom at the all-inclusive resort, give your hands a wash them for 20 seconds, hot water with soap. If your washroom area or sink is not available, they do have, a lot of places will have hand sanitizers in front of the restaurant. You can put a little bit of hand sanitizer on your hands to begin with. It's also a good idea, pack one of the little travel bottles of hand sanitizer. I like to have that kind of in my beach bag or knapsack when I'm traveling. It's just handy. Sometimes you go some places and maybe the soap is out in the washroom, or there's just nothing available when you're out and about. It's always kind of nice to just clean your hands off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol to get them all clean. If you happen to have, you know, a sneezing fit, have to sneeze, try and sneeze into either a napkin or a handkerchief if you have one, some type of paper napkin. Throw it away after. Make sure you wash your hands as soon as possible. And also, if the soap and water is not available, use the hand sanitizer again. Just a healthy practice. If you don't have a napkin or something to sneeze into, it's kind of recommended just to, you know, sneeze into your arm, just to kind of block it from going everywhere. Don't let it, you know, you don't want to try and, you know, give every other traveler in the area your cold or flu or whatever you might have from sneezing. And my last tip for this is to obviously try and avoid just touching your eyes and face whenever possible. If you do, you might want to just make sure you're extra diligent washing your hands. Maybe wash your face when you go into the washroom next time, just to kind of prevent any spread of any illness. So there we go. Those are my tips for staying healthy and safe on vacation. If you did have any questions about this video, you can leave a comment down in the comment section below. I will leave some more information about this video in the description, as well as some links to some other health articles that you might find useful when traveling. And until my next video, I always appreciate if you did like the video, make sure you hit the like button. Also, you can consider subscribing. I do share regular videos on this channel, travel tips, resort videos, and from time to time travel deals. So make sure you hit the notification bell as well. It will get you notified when I do post a new video. And in the meantime, you can watch these ones.